Yesterday, I made a video saying that the Toronto Raptors were interested in Jordi Fernandez, but the Toronto Star just put out an article. The Raptors are heading to the final stage of their head coach search, and there's three guys: Doc Rivers, Steve Nash, and Jordi Fernandez. Yep, this is blowing my mind because we know they have the 13th pick in the draft. And from what we've heard is after letting go of Nick Nurse on April 21st, these are the three guys. Steve Nash is considered a good fit. He's Canada's superstar legend, and he might be able to grow and thrive in a better, more stable management and roster situation instead of the tumultuous tenure he had in Brooklyn. Also, shout out Doug Smith of Toronto Star for this information. Next, Jordi Fernandez has been highly regarded in the league and is a finalist. He also is like one academic paper away from being a doctor. And sources say, it's been narrowed to Doc, Jordi Fernandez, and potentially Steve Nash. The rest of the candidates we know are JJ Redick, who doesn't have any coaching experience, but he's an ex-player, and he'd command respect and has an out-of-the-box mentality in terms of his thinking. Then Sergio, the current coach of the Spanish national team, he would become the first truly international head coach in the NBA, and they flew to Italy earlier this month to do an interview. Monty Williams is a guy that we've kind of heard, but we don't know if they've or will formally interview him. David Aldman is a guy who's been talked about, but he's on the Denver Nuggets, so he hasn't been able to talk. Same thing with Chris Quinn. Becky Hammond's pulled her name out, so it's really between Jordi Fernandez, Doc Rivers, and Steve Nash, they're saying, which blows my mind because the way we look at it, they haven't leaked anything, but they basically made it clear that, hey, this, team is looking for a new head coach. And one source told the Toronto Star that Masai Ujiri has narrowed down the list to 3, and final interviews are being scheduled. As that number has not independently been confirmed, the names of the finalists were not available. But from what we know is Ujiri and Bobby Webster are close to a hire. It seems like Jordi Fernandez, Doc Rivers, and Steve Nash are the three guys that it seems like they've narrowed it down to. I do think this is an interesting turn of events, and I want to hear your guys' thoughts down below in the comment section. Who do you think should be the head coach of the Toronto Raptors? Jordi Fernandez, Steve Nash, or Doc Rivers? I'm going Jordi Fernandez personally. Then Steve Nash. I just hope they don't hire Doc Rivers.